Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. We have yet another Rivals of Aether guide today, and today's one is going to be on Loxodont, and let's get right into it. Starting off with Loxodont's grab, and his up throw is going to be his best combo tool because you're actually able to chain up throw into itself if you do up throw into Nair 1. Now, it can be a little bit tricky just depending on how the opponent DIs, plus platforms can definitely get in your way, but this is a really easy way to just rack up the damage as Loxodont, especially if your opponent isn't giving the correct DI. Then you should just absolutely be looping this, and then you can end it with a forward air, you can end it with a back air, and let me actually take you to the higher percents to show you that even at the higher percents, this move does not lose any of its combo ability. You are still going to be able to get a ton of value out of it, whether it's confirming into a down air, whether it's confirming into a back air, even an up strong. It is such a strong combo tool, basically just always for Loxodont. But that's not the only combo throw that Loxodont has, because if you have the magma effect on the ground and you do a down throw, that is going to become a combo throw as well. And it's a pretty potent one at that. If they DI it super well, it's going to be pretty hard to confirm off of, but if not, you're going to be able to confirm that into an up strong, down strong, back air, neutral special, all of that good stuff. And even without the magma on the ground, this is just essentially snake down throw, where you're just immediately putting the opponent into a tech chase situation, which is like obviously awesome. I probably don't have to tell you that one. So between down throw and up throw, you've got some serious kill potential with Loxodont and his grab. But outside of those two throws, both forward throw and back throw are going to be acting as kill throws. Now, are they the strongest kill throws in the world? Yeah, honestly, they actually are pretty strong. Now, DI definitely matters on them, but Loxodont's grab is like really good. You should definitely be trying to get in close with this character, get your grabs, because whether it's just a raw throwing the opponent off stage to get really good positioning, and you're going to get pretty good positioning from doing that, or going from a combo with an up throw or with a down throw tech chase if there's no magma on the ground, you just have so much versatility in how you want to approach the opponent once you grab them as Loxodont. Next, we've got to talk about with Loxodont is going to be his jab, and I want to make it very clear that you are able to confirm off of jab 2, but I wouldn't really recommend going for jab 2 just because there are better things that you can do afterwards. You can go for an Ftilt to Downtilt, you can go for an Uptilt if they're close enough, you can even just go for a raw Downtilt if they are close enough, and in general, these are not only going to be easier to confirm off of than jab 2, but you're also just going to be getting like more damage per jab, and jab 1 is like a super solid poking tool just to throw it out in neutral. You can wave dash in, jab that doesn't work, wave dash out, jab, just like a defending tool, a retreating tool. Basically, it's just a really strong tool that is massively disjointed, and you are able to get fairly creative after you do it. So yeah, jab, very good tool, something that you should be using often, but just don't get too crazy about jab 2. Be a little bit creative after that first one. Next up is going to be forward tilt. Really quickly, I just wanted to show it has a fun interaction with the meatball. So if you want to get fancy on your opponents, F-tilt is definitely a good way to do it. But outside of that, it is going to be just a solid killing tool with a massive disjoint on it. But when we are at these lower percents, you actually really don't want to do this second hit of F-tilt. And the way I kind of like to think about F-tilt is the first part of F-tilt is a combo tool, and the second part of F-tilt is a kill tool. So when you're below like 130%, F-tilt's not really going to be killing. So you're always going to want to confirm that second hit of up tilt into a down tilt or into an up tilt, so you can try to get a conversion off of it. And then once you get to those higher percents, or even if you just want to use it as a spacing tool, because again, this move is like massively disjointed. It's probably the most disjointed move in the entire game. I guess Claire neutral special, but I feel like that one is kind of cheating. So this is just like a massive disjointed tool that you can throw out in neutral. But if you see this first hit connect and the opponent is not in the kill range, do not go for the second hit of up tilt. Try to confirm that into an up tilt. Try to confirm that into a down tilt. You're going to be getting way more value in general. But once you start getting those kill ranges, then it's more acceptable to start throwing out that second hit, because it is just a really meaty hitbox. Next thing I want to show you is Uptilt, and really quickly, I just wanted to show that Uptilt, the DI matters so much for the opponent, because if they're DIing away, it's basically impossible to get a conversion off of this Uptilt. Loxodont just simply is not fast enough, and maybe you can get like something like that, but that's me reading the tech as well. But if the opponent is not DIing correctly, we'll just put it on PDI so I can show you, then as you can see, this is a very potent combo tool. You can do Nair 1 into Uptilt. This confirms into all of your aerials as well as neutral special, and also the move itself is just like extremely good, all things considered. Like, it just covers a ton of space behind, above, and in front of Loxodont, and just the combo ability at basically all percent is going to be amazing if the opponent doesn't DI correctly. And that's a pretty big if, but it's definitely something that you need to consider as the Loxodont player. Next up is going to be Downtilt, and it has the immediate boon of putting magma on the field. That's obviously very good, but it's also going to be a super solid combo tool, basically just popping the opponent right up in front of Loxodont, and you're going to be able to get a lot of conversions off of this down tilt, namely into up tilt though if the opponent doesn't DI correctly, or if you just want to be looking for a raw kill option, you can confirm it into neutral special or back air, or if the opponent is off stage, down tilt will act as a spike whenever they are in the air. So you can spike people with down tilt, which is awesome. You can also spike the meatball down, get some pretty fun interactions that happen right there. And in general, the main way that I would confirm into down tilt would be off of forward tilt 1, kind of like I alluded to earlier. I know I said that you can confirm into both up tilt and down tilt off of forward tilt, but I would personally recommend going for down tilt. I think it's easier to confirm off of down tilt than it is off of up tilt. Just sets the opponents right in front of Loxodont, and you're able to get just like really easy, super basic confirms with it. Down tilt, very, very good move, something that you should absolutely be integrating in your game plan, but it's also a move that is a lot more committal than his other tilt, so it might be something that you want to confirm into, like you want to do a jab into a down tilt, or you want to do an F tilt into a down tilt like I showed. Throwing it out in neutral isn't like the end of the world, of course, and you are putting magma on the field, which is nice, but it is a little bit more risky than his other moves. And the final move for Loxodont is going to be his dash attack. And there's kind of two ways that you want to react to this move. There's going to be the good DI and the bad DI. Now, the bad DI is going to allow you to confirm into up strong, into up tilt, pretty much anything that you want. But the good DI is obviously going to be a lot trickier to follow. And what I would recommend to try to follow up on that would either be going for a side B just to try to cover the tech option, or actually trying to catch them out with a forward tilt. This works a lot better when they get sent off stage as well, just because they don't really have anywhere to tech. And then you're able to get just your normal forward tilt conversions after that. So it's a little bit of a weird move. Dash attack, the DI definitely matters for it, but if the opponent is not ready for it, they get caught off guard, then it is just like a free confirm into that up strong, into that down strong for that early stock. And the last thing I want to say about it is, if you have the magma effect, the move does more damage and it has like this little magma fling, but I don't think anything else is added with it. I don't think there's more hit stun or comes out faster, so please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. But outside of that, dash attack, just solid combo tool, pops the opponent up in front of you. Maybe there's a little bit of space that you have to cover, but in general, it's pretty good. Moving on to the aerial, starting off with neutral air, and Loxodont's neutral air is probably his most important move, specifically because of Nair 1. After or during this video, I highly recommend that if you're not yet comfortable with the timings of Nair 1, that you put yourself into the practice range and just get better with it, because it is integral to Loxodont's kit. As I kind of alluded to earlier, you're able to do this chain with up throw, but you can also do that with up tilt. You can confirm it into down tilt as well. Like for setups like this, that's something that's obviously super lethal. So make sure that you understand how to get value out of Nair 1, because this move is like integral to Loxodont's kit. I kind of like to think of it in the same sense of Zetterburn Shine or Rana weak hit back here. They feel that same niche of just keeping the opponent within the relatively same space and allowing you to set up for the next part of your combo, kind of like the in-between from move A to move C. And then you're also going to have just the normal part of neutral air being a kill move at higher percents, yes, but it is also a kill confirm tool at lower percents if the opponent doesn't DI for it super correctly. Now, that's mainly going to be into forward strong or up strong, depending on the DI. But again, the main value you're going to be getting from neutral air is from this single hit neutral air into like a grab or into a up tilt, into a down tilt. But the full extension of neutral air as well is also a pretty solid hitbox, one that you are able to confirm something like a forward tilt or a neutral special on, depending on the DI and the percentage. So Nair, really important move in Loxodont's kit. Make sure you're using it a lot, and make sure that you understand how to value Nair 1, because it is integral. Next up is going to be forward air, and this is just like an amazing walling tool for Loxodont. It is so hard to get in against this move, and something that I love to do is a wall jump into forward air when you're edge guarding people. You can't just go for a back air off stage, and if that hits, they're probably going to die, but the hitbox of forward air is just a lot bigger, so against those more susceptible recoveries, this just covers a ton of space. And there's two hitboxes to forward air. There's going to be the sour spot hitbox, which is like the top of the axe, and the sweet spot hitbox is going to be towards the lower end of the axe. But as you can see, you're just able to chain this move into itself over and over again off stage, and even if it's not confirming into itself, just the space that it covers is truly unbelievable. So Loxodont forward air, amazing edge guarding tool, your main edge guarding tool. But outside of that, I would generally recommend still trying to end your combos with a back air or a neutral special instead of a forward air. Now, that's not always a bad thing, because as I literally just showed you, forward air allows you to put yourself into a position where you are just chaining your opponents off stage, but it's just not going to be as strong of a potent hit to end your combos with. And generally, it's more so something that you want to go for raw in neutral, or when you're trying to catch out someone's jump. This isn't even something that I thought about, but it's also just like an amazing anti-air if you are short hopping with it. It just controls a ton of space in front of Loxodont. So forward air, really good tool. Not as strong as a combo tool as you would expect for everything else in Loxodont's kit, but also you can just kind of do that to people. So pretty good. Next up is going to be back air, and I'm going to keep the explanation fairly simple here. You probably could confirm off of this sweet spot or sour spot hitbox of back air into like a jab or a forward tilt at lower percents, but that's not the point of back air as a move, and there are better moves to confirm into dab or into the F-tilt if you want to do that at lower percents than back air. The use of back air is going to be just as a kill tool, and that's honestly kind of it. If you're ending a combo, generally you want to end it with back air or neutral special, and if you were going for a kill, then you want to be throwing out that back air just because it is a very strong hitbox. You're able to confirm into it off of a down air or off of an up throw. And yeah, that's kind of really all I have to say about this tool. It's just going to be the main kill aerial for Loxodont. It's a little bit more committal than his other aerials, but also it hits like way harder. Next up is going to be down air, and I'll be very basic with this. This is going to be your typical stomp move, and I would recommend that you either confirm this into a back air, a second down air, or if you can, a neutral special to secure the stock. And outside of that, I really don't have a lot to say about down air. It's just going to act as your very basic spike. It always spikes no matter where you hit it on the hitbox, so I guess that's nice for consistency's sake. But yeah, back air, it's just Falcon Stomp. And the final aerial of Loxodont is going to be his up air. And like Nair, this move is super intricate, but also really integral to Loxodont's kit. And the sweet spot hitbox of it is going to be basically just as the move comes up, before the axe actually goes into the arcing motion. That is where you're going to find this really juicy hitbox of up air that's just going to be a lot easier to confirm into. And if you want to loop up air into itself, then you should absolutely be going for this backward hitbox. And it is possible to loop up air into itself without the backwards hitbox of the up air, but you have to be hit falling every single up air that you do, and that should just be the general rule when you are up airing with a Loxodont. Every single time that you do an up air, you should be trying to hit fall it afterwards, just so you are able to then get a conversion into a forward air or into another up air, whatever your heart truly desires. But Loxodont up air, really important move for his kit, but also a very intricate move. I would recommend going into the training lab and just getting comfortable with all of the different hitboxes of it, because it's so important if you are able to utilize it well, and if you're not utilizing it well, then it just feels like really underwhelming. Also, really quickly, I want to point out, you can still get value from a rising up air as well. The hitbox of up air is still pretty big, and it comes out pretty quick, so if you just throw this up air and it manages to connect, you are typically going to be able to confirm this into a jab or into a grab. So you don't have to just do the crazy stuff where you're looping up air into itself over and over again. You can just land with this move nice and basic, go into a grab, and still get value from it. Moving on to the strong attacks, and the strong attacks actually all kind of fill a different niche. You're going to have F strong, which is just like your committal strong attacks. This thing is going to be hitting like an absolute truck, especially when the magma is applied on it, and the hitbox that it covers is just such an insane amount of rage, literally covering the entire platform. Same thing as up strong as well, and that's without the magma being applied to up strong. With the magma being applied, there is literally nowhere that you can go, and you are able to confirm into up strong. You're able to confirm into it off of an up throw. You're able to confirm into it off of a down air. You're able to confirm into it off of a neutral air, depending on the DI as well. And the final strong attack is going to be down strong, and I think the best value of down strong comes after you do a side B and using it as a tech chasing tool, just because it covers an insane amount of space and also lingers for a very long amount of time. So it's going to catch them if they don't tech, it's going to catch them if they neutral tech, it's going to catch them basically every single option that they do, unless they just like fully roll away from the down smashing Loxodont. So down smash for Loxodont covers a ton of space and lingers for a super long time, especially if you have that magma equipped. But in terms of smash attacks that you're going to be able to combo into, the main one is definitely going to be up strong. There are a couple ways that you can combo into down strong as well, but generally up strong is also just going to be the stronger of the two options, as long as you manage to hit that sweet spot for it. So yeah, F strong is going to be your smash attack that you just throw as a hard commitment. This is going to be your big read, hits like a truck, not really something you can combo into. Down strong is also going to be something that you can use as a hard commitment. It does have better frame data than the other strong attacks. It doesn't hit as hard, but it also covers a lot more space. Really good for tech chasing. And then finally, you're going to have up strong, which is just not only an amazing anti-air, but also something that for some reason you can combo into pretty consistently. Moving on to the special, starting off with neutral special, and this thing is just Gordo on crack. You have so much control over your fireball. It's actually insane. It's basically just like a second player is plugged into the port and is pressuring the opponent with Loxodont. And if the fireball hits the opponent, it's like a really good juggle situation for Loxodont. With the first charge, of course, there's going to be multiple charges of the fireball, but to be honest, the third and fourth charges of the fireball do get absurdly strong, and the normal hit of neutral special, the trunk hit, I should say, is the strongest move in Loxodont's kit. If you can hit that move the opponent is going to be dying at like 50-60%. I know I said earlier we should try to be confirming into back air, and I still stand by that, but if you can confirm into a neutral special, then that should be overriding your priority of confirming into a back air, because this move just hits like an absolute truck. You're able to fast fall when you actually start the back air or the neutral special as well, so it's not like your mobility is at all limited by committing for it. You still have all of that normal aerial drift that you have, but now you're just doing it with this insanely threatening hitbox. So that's another thing that in the lab I would recommend just trying to figure out all the different hitboxes of how they interact with the meatball from Loxodont, because there is a lot of different ones and you get some pretty silly stuff going. And then outside of that, just keeping it in mind that neutral special is a move that you can and should be confirming into because it hits hard. Really quickly, just to make the distinction for that aerial part of neutral special, it depends on where you actually hit the opponent, on whether they're going to be sent up or down. So if you hit them at the edge of the Loxodont hitbox, then it's going to be sending them outwards. But if you hit them like right in the middle of it, then it's going to be sending them like pretty much just straight up. So that's how the hitbox works. If you want to be edge guarding people with it, then you want to be hitting them with like just the edge of the hitbox to send them off stage. But if you want to actually get them off the top, then you want to be like right underneath them. Moving on to side B, first things first, move is really good at getting to the wall. Obviously, that is going to be important as an edge guarding tool. It puts magma on the ground as well, which is really nice. But what's really nice about this move is the fact that it spikes afterwards, which is really strong. It allows you to kind of do some quirky stuff like that. Now, it should be noted that you're not usually going to be hitting this move in the air, so it's usually just going to be putting the opponents into a tech chasing situation. And as I alluded to earlier, I really like down chasing or down smashing after a side B just because it covers so much space, like 3 of the 4 options. But you could also just go for a second side B, try to like just repeat it over and over again to get a really long tech chase going. And this is absolutely something that you can get away with as the Loxodont player, especially if the opponent is scared in their shield. And once you get to that ledge, again, they get sent off stage and you end it in that spike. So if you hit a side B someone off stage, then you absolutely should be going for that second dunk with the downer. And you can also use the meatball to use side B, not only to spike the meatball down, which is just very funny, but using the meatball is going to make it so side B does not put you into special fall. So you're not going to really get a ton of aerial mobility from it, but you are going to be able to put yourself a little bit more off stage, give yourself a extra positioning, and also just the fact that you can spike the meatball straight down, I find is very, very funny. Also, really quickly, I just want to say that if you're having trouble consistently wave dashing to grab the ledge against people, then what I would recommend doing is actually going for Loxodont side B, because Loxodont side B just perfectly sets up for you to be grabbing the ledge right there, and then you can just go for an immediate back air. So if you're struggling with either your walk-offs or your wave dashes off into a ledge grab, then side B is absolutely going to be a perfect solution for you there. Moving on to up B, and I don't really have anything to say about up B aside from using it as an edge guarding tool, because it's like low-key really good as an edge guarding tool, because it is just going to be spiking the opponent with this massive hitbox that controls the ledge. Now, it should be noted that you are at risk when you are doing this. There's definitely a timing between when you're going up and when you're going down as Loxodont that the opponent can grab the ledge and you just die in that case scenario. Now, if you think that's going to happen, you can, of course, just always back up as the Loxodont player so you do land on the stage. But then, of course, if you were wrong, you wouldn't actually get the spiking hitbox. So using this as a edge guarding tool is something that is really strong for Loxodont, but you have to be careful with it. You can absolutely just mess up your timing by even a second and literally lose your stock at 0%. And then aside from that, up B is just like, it's up B, it's your normal combo side, really nothing special with it. But look into using this as an edge guarding tool and the reverse hitbox of it, because it is really hard to get in against this wall as most characters. And the final move in Loxodont's kit is going to be the neutral or the down special. And I should say the no charge of the down special is actually something that is still very good. It has a hitbox on it, but like the hitbox is essentially useless. It's just good as a stalling tool off stage, just allowing you to mix up your timing as Loxodont. And the first version of it especially gives you a ton of aerial drift. So definitely a tool that you should be using even if you don't have any charges of it. And then when you do have charges of it, it's a tool that you should be using like all of the time. Not only is it just like a great burst option to just get away from a situation, but it's also going to be an integral combo tool for Loxodont. The second charge sending the opponent even further than the first charge, and of course the third charge being the strongest one. And it should also be noted that with the third charge, you actually get your double jump back. Now, it doesn't give you a third jump, so if you have your double jump already, it's not going to give you an extra jump there. It's just going to effectively do nothing. But if you have already used your double jump by using the max charge of the neutral special, or the down special rather, you are going to be getting that jump back, which is obviously awesome. Really, really good for a recovery tool. So obviously down B is going to be a really solid movement tool, but it's even better as a combo tool. And for the weakest charge of it, I would recommend just generally going for a down air. You're not always going to connect into the down air if the opponent has good DI, but most of the time the opponent is just within Loxodont, and that down air is going to hit and just give you a really solid follow. For the second charge of the neutral special or the down special, I would actually recommend going for a neutral special if you can connect it afterwards. Again, DI definitely matters on this one, but if you can connect it and add a little bit of charge as well, that matters a ton for the neutral special. Just even a half second of charge is going to get you a stock like 10-15% earlier. And if you can't confirm into that neutral special, then down air is also a fine option. Same thing with back air as well. And for the final charge of it, this one you're usually going to be confirming into back air. The opponent is almost always appearing behind Loxodont, but you can get a little bit cheeky, go for a B reverse neutral special. So down B is a amazing combo tool. It's an amazing burst option. It's an amazing get off tool. It's just like a really, really strong option for Loxodont, both in terms of movement and combo ability. And with that, I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this course. It's been absolutely unreal as of late. If there's anything I left out, got wrong, or if you just want to say hi, leave a comment down below. Be sure to sub while you're down there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.